Hi, everybody. It's Don Crowther. Welcome. So back when I was in junior high school, I had a pretty good vertical jump. It was about 32 inches. So if I jumped and you measured the highest point I could reach standing on the ground, and then I jumped and made a mark with chalk, the difference between those was 32 inches. But by the time I got to high school, it was up to 36 inches. So it was pretty good. And I was pretty happy with myself. And as a kid, and you're really focused on things like athletics, that was huge for me to be able to do. Well, here's what happened. One of a track coach came to me and said, Don, you've got an amazing jump. Let's get you high jumping. And so I set about to figure out how to do that. The problem was I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't very good at it at all. And so let me just show you a couple of things here. So let me get my screen capture here. Okay. So at the time, we were doing a thing called the straddle method. So you would approach the bar, you would run, and then you would kick your first foot up over the bar like this. And then your second foot, you would rotate. And then as you were falling, you would make sure that that second foot got kicked up over the bar. The problem was I was pretty good. So see how this guy's clearing the bar by like an inch? I would be like 4 or 5 inches above the bar. My problem was that bottom foot was a stupid foot. And it kept my heel or my toe kept catching that bar on the way down. So I'd be 4 inches over the bar and then my foot would catch it. And it was like no good jump. So I guess the lesson is it helps to be coordinated if you want to high jump well. Which at the time, and still today, I didn't have that ability to say that I was coordinated. Okay, but then something happened. A guy named Dick Fosbury came into the world. And he looked at things and said, is there a better way? And one day, after experimenting a lot, he found a better way, and it's called the Fosbury Flop. It's the most ungainly, unelegant, frustrating thing to watch, because what you do is you approach the bar, you plant your foot, and then you turn backwards as you're going over the bar. And so then you're going over the bar backwards, and the secret is that you don't hit it on the way up. So you have to jump far enough away from the bar so that your bottom doesn't hit the bar on your way up. The second secret is to kick your feet up that last second as they're about to clear it so that they clear the bar too. Now notice something different between these two pictures. So in this picture, we're an inch above the bar. In all these shots, we're just barely above the bar. Look in these pictures. We're half a foot above the bar with our body. It's just the process of getting those feet over. And here's the cool thing that happened. I saw Dick Fosbury jump on TV one day, and I said, I got to try this. So I went, and in 2 weeks of working on it, my jump increased by 14 to 15 inches. And if you look in the history of high jumping, so look at this. Here we have 1957. We're jumping 7 feet 1 inch. This is the world record. By the way, if you're 6 foot tall, this person is jumping 1 foot higher than you are and clearing a bar in 1957. Now notice this, for 3 years, that record stood, and then it went up by 3/8 of an inch, 1 centimeter in 1960. Here's somebody else who jumps it also in 1960. Oh, same guy. Same guy. And then he manages again to clear it by another centimeter. He's now up to 1 foot 7/8 inches. We're going up by half an inch. That's what happens in high jumping. So for somebody to come in and all of a sudden start jumping 14 inches higher than they were before, that's incredible. Now, I'm not going to say I was great, because before I was jumping like 4 feet high. And so, like I said, I had a very stupid foot. And so now I was jumping like 5'2", which was pretty good for a junior high schooler, but it didn't set any records. But the important thing for me was this. I was now jumping 20% higher than I had been jumping 2 weeks before, just by making a change in what I was doing. Let me show you something else. This is the world records in high jump. Okay. So 1910, we're about 2 meters, and then we progress and we're about 2.1. And then right here, we get the Cold War. So what this is the United States versus Russia competing against each other, when billions of dollars are being poured into sports and sports training and everything else like that. And this is what propels this. And then in the mid 70s, so this is right where I'm starting to jump, is right in here. Mid 70s, we get our first Fosbury Flop record. In 1978, we get our last straddle method record. And notice what's happening. We go from 2.3 meters up to 2.45 meters in this short period of time as it rockets up. And we get a jump not quite as big as this, but actually a bigger jump, just not quite as accelerated in the timing of when it happened. So you could argue that Dick Fosbury changed the world of high jumping. So my question to you is this. What are you doing to change the world? What are you doing to change your world? So here's one of the things that I've discovered over the years. Every once in a while, there are moments that happen in history when something changes. This concept of freedom changed in this little country that some people called America. And within 10 years after we achieved our independence, we get France. It rolls all the way through a whole bunch of places. There are many times in the world where a single change turns into a change of the rest of the world in a fairly short period of time. Here's my question for you. We have one of those moments right now when change has occurred. None of us chose it. None of us wanted it, but change has occurred. And my question for you is, what is your Fosbury Flop? What are you learning about yourself, about how you act, about how human beings act, about how businesses act, about how to change yourself, and then how you can take that change and communicate it out to the rest of the world? So that this period of time, this short period in the entire history of the world, just a bat of an eye in the history of the world, can literally start to change the world. And are you going to be one of those people who will do it? Are you a person who's pouring this time into binge watching every single thing on Netflix and Hulu and HBO? Or are you a person who's pouring your time and energy into figuring out how to change so that when this gets over, you're a better person and you're helping to change the world to be better too? That's my question. Are you doing it? Are you going to do it? What are you doing to make that happen? Think about it. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.